Question 7, Darleen Tana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Oceans and Fisheries and asks, does he agree with the statement by the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment that the Resource Management Extended Duration of Coastal Permits for Marine Farms Amendment Bill is a, quote, bill that is a case of a sledgehammer being used to crack a nut, unquote, and if not, why not?
The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
On behalf of the Minister, no. This bill responds to long-standing and widespread concerns by the agriculture sector about the costs and uncertainty and mahi, that means work, associated with reconsenting processes for existing marine farms under the Resource Management Act. This process of reconsenting is inhibiting agricultural growth. These marine farmers, many of whom are Maori, don't want the unnecessary costs and uncertainty. They want to be allowed to refocus their efforts on investment, on jobs and on exports.
Supplementary. What does he say to councils and NGOs who consider that the national environmental standards for marine aquaculture are working efficiently and effectively for reconsenting, and that a blanket extension of consents for 1,200 marine farms by a further 20 years is unnecessary?
Well, answering both those two questions, the person who first drafted legislation is the Parliamentary Commission for the Environment, namely Simon Upton. This was in 1991. He was told back then it wouldn't work. It had to be, parts of it had to be fixed up to ensure that the kind of exports which we desperately need in a safe environment went ahead. Of course, he's entitled to his opinion, and so are those other councils, excepting they're dramatically wrong. Why do we have Ngai Tahoe waiting all this time and all this money for a simple resource consent? Why do we have so many other precious operations which will bring wealth to our country, to all sorts of people, and parallel the biggest mussel farm in the world now being built in a Portuguese, and the Maori people down there? Why don't we focus on that as being our purpose rather than this constant big city, small-minded complaint?
Supplementary. How does he reconcile blanket consenting 1,200 marine farms by another 20 years, pushing aside environmental standards and upholding Crown's obligations to Te Tiriti o Waitangi, with free trade obligations and particularly chapters that relate to mauri of marine ecosystems and kaitiakitanga?
That is not a matter of reconciliation, because when you stand up and, by way of a question, state a number of untruths and misnomers, it requires no response at all other than to say this. This bill does not change or remove the existing RMA provisions that manage the consented activities. Existing marine farms will continue to operate under the conditions of their consent according to the RMA. Those are the facts that so-called critics should understand. Many marine farms consent of conditions that are consistent with standard environmental practice under the RMA. The bill also provides councils with a one-off opportunity to review the conditions of any consent extended in duration under this bill, to update them to improve the environmental management of the consented activity. But the CEO of the Ministry of Primary Industry is required to agree so that they do not stop people trying to progress in these difficult times from starting new jobs and new export industries and turning this economy around.